you put the jelly on the glove, is that when you used her hand to rub your penis?
Yeah.
I didn't know he could do that.
Oh my God, that was horrifying. That was horrifying.
I've never seen this before in my life.
I know I talked to you a little bit about what was on the phone.
So I don't know anything that was on the phone.
All the phone contained images of Margaret before and after her death, as well as videos of your son with her.
You need to sit down.
Was she still alive when he was doing that?
No, I don't believe.
Oh my God.
That woman was 98 years old, just living out her days. And here's my son. My son did this.
Unlike what you have seen before, this case is far more complex than a sexually charged, impulsive teenager driven by emotion. It's a story of interconnected roles, where every individual involved had a significant and defining part to play, shaping the outcome in ways that are both shocking and revealing. We will explore three main aspects in this video: the motive that drove Gavon Ramsay to kill, the manipulation he displays in the interrogation room, and the mindset that led him to make such devastating choices. 98-year-old Margaret Douglas was reported as missing to the Wadsworth Police on the morning of April 9, 2018. The investigation was active, and the suspicion was building on different people. But soon enough, something horrifying would be discovered. Margaret was found murdered in her home in Wadsworth, Ohio. Investigators discovered that she had been strangled and sexually assaulted after death. Her body was hidden in a closet, covered with clothes and a vacuum cleaner.
I'll be there just a
Okay,
second.
just like right here?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
you're not gonna need these, right?
I'm not gonna guarantee that, huh?
Okay.
Put it back there. If I need it, I'll get it, hon, okay?
Okay.
It was Cindy and Howard Leisure who made the horrifying discovery. They stood frozen in shock, unable to process the brutal reality that Margaret was in the house all this while, crammed into a closet after her death.
Margaret was your
Aunt,
aunt.
yes.
Your,
Mother's sister,
okay, your mother's sister.
yes.
So I'm trying to put together a timeline.
I know, yeah.
So I talked to David,
Mm-hmm.
and, it sounds like he's her day-to-day.
Yeah, he keeps an eye on her.
And then my understanding is that you guys are kind of the closest family that she has.
Yes.
Okay. So how did you guys come to know that Margaret was missing or no one could get a hold of her?
Okay. David called us Sunday, this past Sunday, whatever, I don't know what date that was.
Okay.
And I actually was on the phone with my daughter on my cell phone. And so it had to be sometime between 4 and 4:30, because I was on the phone with my daughter on my cell phone, and I could see it come up on the TV where it says caller coming in, but I didn't recognize the number, so I didn't, think, I didn't really question, So it was sometime Sunday, I'd say between 4 and 4:30, sometime in that range.
And what did he say when he called? Did you talk to him?
I did not. Howard talked to him.
Did-
From what Howard said to me, David wanted to know if we had Margaret out,
Okay.
because, a lot of times on Sundays we did. That was sort of our day. We'd go to church and we'd just come up here and, we'd take her to the store or do stuff with her. And
Understanding the sensitivity of the situation, it was the investigators' job to gently encourage Cindy and Howard to recount the events leading to their discovery or build a timeline for when this could have occurred.
At what point in time who called our police department?
When we got up Monday morning, I said to Howard, you need to call the police department because something's just not, Steve hasn't seen her, David hasn't seen her, Jan hasn't seen her because, they went in the house and I said, something's, I said, you need to call the police department today because something's not,
Right.
something's not right here. And I think they told Howard they were sending somebody out to go through the house.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what they said. Yeah.
How about the state of her house?
It's pretty much like that.
It's just like that?
When we come up, anybody comes over, they have to give her 2 days' notice.
Okay.
And she'll straighten up the downstairs area where they see, and she never wanted anybody to go upstairs to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's always a little bit messy?
Yeah, I was never allowed upstairs until we started being more of the caretakers, and then there's something I'd have to do upstairs, or, so she'd try to clean that area of the house up and have the other door shut.
And how many times did you guys go into the closet?
I went in twice. When we first got there, the first thing I did was open the closet, but I had to move that heater from in front of the door. It's never there.
Can you tell me how it was positioned in front of the door?
It was flat against the door, where all I had to do was put my fingers underneath the top lip, and I lifted it up and set it out of the way the first time I looked. And then I wanted to make sure, put it back the way it was, so I moved it back.
Okay.
And then I guess my wife was telling me today she was in there twice.
Okay.
And then I was in there second time I went in, when the lady asked the police officers, is there a key that we can possibly lock the front door?
Okay.
I'm thinking closet next to it. If it was me, I'd have a skeleton key, because that's all it took, hanging on a nail or something inside.
Okay.
So I looked up there, feeling around, see if there was a key there, and there wasn't. And I went to close the door, and some of those closes slipped down. This is after my wife got the coat out.
Okay.
So I threw those back. Trying to throw them back up so I can close the door again. And that's when I noticed the tennis shoe. So I tried to pick it up, I couldn't pick it up. I'm thinking, what's holding the shoe? So I just wanted to grab another piece of clothing and throw it back. And I've never seen this before in my life.
Okay.
White, and I touched it, it was cold, felt clammy, but felt like styrofoam to me. So I moved it. Give me a minute. So I moved another piece of clothing, and that's when I tend to go down like this, and I felt it up part of the leg, and it felt the same way. I'm thinking, why she got styrofoam in here? What is it? And then it hit me.
So it took you a minute to realize that it was her in there?
Yes, it did. That's when basically we left the house. I've never seen. I'm sure you guys do all the time, but I've never.
Yeah, it's not something you get used to, and no matter how many times you see it.
And to me, it didn't look like flesh or skin. That's what.
It took you a minute to realize what it was.
Oh yeah, then oh God.
And nobody else, she didn't, have any problems with anybody that.
Not that I know of. Margaret bothered no one. That's what is so just horrid about this. Sorry. She wouldn't hurt, please. Just wondered, not that I know of, I never heard her say about any kind of disagreeing with anybody or nobody, I never heard her mention anything about it.
Family members who find the body often struggle with complex emotions like guilt and anger, in addition to grief. Investigators have to consider this when approaching them for information, ensuring they don't inadvertently add to their distress.
I'm sure you seem like a very smart woman. I'm sure you put together that she did not go in there by herself.
No, she did not
and
go
put
in there
that
by
heater
herself.
in front of the door. It's not
No,
possible.
we are very much aware of that.
Okay. I've just talked to a few people and they just don't seem to be,
Oh, no.
that doesn't seem to be clicking for them, so.
That was the first thing. I almost, and why our brains work that way, I don't know. I don't know why our brains don't. I almost said to someone because I was the one who got in the closet first, and I almost said, why is this heater here? But I didn't. I didn't say that.
But you thought to yourself that that's weird.
I did. That was the first, as soon as I walked over there, and I said in my head, I said, why is that heater there? But I guess we were I guess we were in a situation that, we had not been in before, and we were...
Stressed.
Yeah, that's a good word, yeah.
Well, she didn't get in there herself.
I know. She wasn't going to eat her by herself or cover herself up, I know that. And I have no idea.
You don't know
And
how
I'm
that...
hoping there's enough DNA or something to lead to somebody.
Yeah. What do you think should happen to somebody like that?
To be honest,
Yeah.
I say go to prison with a label on and tell people what you did.
I won't argue with you about that one.
Yeah, and then let the inmates take care of you. But I know that will never happen, so.
Well...
They find out, they have ways of finding out, but
Yeah.
for a 98-year-old lady to do something like that.
And you can't think of anybody that would want to hurt her or that would gain
No,
anything.
but I can't imagine if she would open the door for anybody.
You don't
you know.
think she would, or you think...
I don't know if she would, maybe if somebody said they were collecting for cancer, maybe,
So
or
she,
something like that.
she might be easily tricked.
Yeah. I mean, she was sharp as a tack, but if somebody said, I'm collecting for Cancer Society, she might have said, well, let me make a donation. And she went and got her wallet. Because I can't find, they didn't go through anything, it looked like. How would they find her wallet? That's the only solution I come up with.
So the house was messy, but it didn't look like...
Yeah, no, nothing was opened up or dumped, because we were robbed once and we know what they do. So, and every drawers were all closed and everything looked like it normally looked, other than the clutter, which she always cleaned up before we got there.
Right. Anything that happens that night, I mean, I know it was very traumatic and you might have a hard time sorting through everything that happened that night, but anything that anyone said to you that night that made you feel uneasy or think that's weird, or, sometimes when bad things happen, it's at the hands of the people closest to them, obviously. So, anything that anybody said...
It set off an alarm? No.
No.
At this point, the investigation was wide open. There were no clear suspects, no obvious motives, and no trail pointing in any specific direction. Everyone was asking the same question: who could have done this? But right now, there were no answers, only more questions.
Her sit in this armchair.
Oh, that'd be great.
I'm gonna sit over there again, if you don't mind.
He doesn't sit with his equipment.
Yeah.
He sits
No.
with his arms.
Really? Oh, God. I'll sit here. Let me turn my ringer down. I was trying to reach his dad, but he's at work and he's not letting me answer his phone.
The killer was out at large, and the cops had no leads, so they began investigating minor crimes in the area, and suspicion finally landed on a 17-year-old boy, Gavon Ramsay.
We've had a lot of goings on in the neighborhood lately.
I know.
Yes, and probably more than the general public is aware. That's
I'm
for
sure.
sure. More than one incident. Yeah, so more than one incident, so.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we're trying to see if, they're all related and stuff like that. Gavin, does your mom know why you're here?
Well, he said he climbed on top of a church.
Yeah.
And so there's got to be more to that story, because I wouldn't be going down here and picking up a pool if that's what you did.
Yeah.
Gavin's first and second interviews could be an easy study in contrasts. The first interview took place shortly after the crime, with investigators still gathering evidence. The atmosphere is tense as the detectives seek to understand the events without fully confronting Gavon with all available evidence.
So we were just walking around. He didn't even drive. Like, he just walked.
Oh, he walked from his house on Euclid?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez.
And then we met up at Durling, and we weren't really doing anything. And then we went over to the church and climbed on top. And then we went, like, into the courtyard, but that's all we did.
As Gavon spun more lies, the truth seemed to fade further away, and the darkness of his deceit grew more overwhelming.
Now, you did more. Unfortunately, you guys have left behind some very telling items, okay? If we're gonna get to the bottom of this, let's just make it the truth all at once, let's deal with it and get it done.
You're 17.
Yeah. You're a kid, so you're not looking at as much trouble as. So you snuck back in the house there right after that?
Yeah.
And just so you know, we did stop him, I'm sure, he said he told you that.
Yeah, he did.
He said he texted you that and let you know that he got stopped. Did you know he left his phone?
Yeah, he told me.
Yeah, and your green lighter?
He got stopped on the way home. Good.
Yeah. You guys do anything else in the area?
No, he told me you were talking about, like, car thefts and stuff, but that's not anything I'm involved in.
You talked to Lori?
Yeah, he texted me, like, he's got a computer and everything.
Okay, good grief. So you guys didn't go into any cars? You know what, it would make me feel a lot better now if it was just the two of you that went into the cars.
Yeah.
You know, because of the other issue in the area, I'm sure.
I didn't even know there was a car issue there,
Yeah,
Oh, God.
yeah. You guys didn't, now would be the time to tell, okay? Because we processed the cars, we did fingerprints and DNA.
He's notably defensive and reluctant to provide clear answers.
When was this recent time that he got in trouble on?
He has not had any freedom at all. I mean, he literally goes to work and home probably 3 months because he makes bad choices, and we don't want that for our kids. So he literally has no life.
Gavon, we've had some really serious things happen in your neighborhood and in that area, okay? We had a carjacking,
Oh, my God.
and the suspect is a young white male with a nice complexion and blue eyes. Is that you?
No, it's not me. I wouldn't know the first thing about jacking a car.
Well, it's a little more to the story, but, you know, you didn't take anybody's car? Have you ever used an app called Grindr?
No,
How do you feel about gay people?
I'm not gay.
Oh, well, that's okay, but, and I'm sure you guys know about the elderly woman that was found at the scene.
Oh, my God, that was horrifying. That was horrifying.
There's a lack of emotional engagement here, which may be a coping mechanism in response to the gravity of the situation. His body language and tone suggest anxiety, but also an attempt to maintain control over the narrative.
Gavon, do you know anything about it?
No, honestly, probably 5 or 6 people.
That you talked to? Is that what you're saying?
Gavon is exhibiting a closed body posture, which is a clear indication of defensiveness and discomfort. Gavon is not forthcoming with the details about his actions or intentions, leading investigators to struggle in extracting critical information about the crime.
Gav, let's look at it this way. Honesty is always what's best.
I'm not holding anything back, like,
You've already gotten yourself in trouble, so.
I know, and I don't even, I don't know what's that.
Is there more? Because you know it all
No,
comes out.
it's not that there's anything more, it's, what the fuck, dude?
I'm mad at myself. I'm so mad at myself.
can
Like,
ask.
honestly, I don't even want to live at home anymore. I don't know, I'm not fucking normal. I need to live somewhere else. Like, if, I don't know, some halfway house or something, I honestly would not care.
Why would you want to live in a halfway house? What is so wrong about living at home?
No, but there's nothing that they do, it's me. Like, everything I'm putting them through, I'm costing them thousands of dollars, constant heartbreak. I've honestly probably never made either of them proud. I don't do anything fucking good.
Stop cussing.
It's a word,
Well, it's disrespectful.
Gavon's mother's presence during the interrogation changed the dynamics entirely. Gavon's emotional state suggests a mix of anxiety and a desire to control the narrative as he attempts to manipulate the situation by showing vulnerability.
You're making it sound like it's no big deal right now.
I
And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to you or my mom. I'm just saying, like, right now you're making it seem like, oh, you just went, you know.
To us, there's more serious things out there.
Yeah, I know, but then I go to court and it's
Right.
completely different. Like last time, the cop told me, oh, like, whenever I got the felony, like, yeah, it'll be, you know, blah, blah, blah. And he wasn't even making it sound bad. And then next thing you know, I'm on probation for 6 months with a felony and 2 misdemeanors.
Were these cars all unlocked, or
Yeah.
they didn't break?
No, they were all unlocked.
So would you just walk through the neighborhood trying people's cars? What'd you do if someone did that to my car? Like, that's so upsetting and scary.
I understand that, but it's really their own fault for not locking.
No, I don't lock mine half the time. Did you sneak out last week?
No,
So you had nothing to do with that? Because
No.
again, you
none of
need
that
proof.
stuff is gonna be me. What I did was last night, it's in our general area, we walked around. Honestly, can you two actually leave for a second?
What's that?
Can you two actually leave? So I can talk to her.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you?
Sure.
The depths of the horror he committed that fateful night were beyond imaginable. He couldn't make his mother hear all that. Research on criminal behavior shows that some offenders, especially those with attachment issues, might find it difficult to perform violent acts when a maternal figure is present. But for others, their actions might be driven by a desire to manipulate the family dynamic or prove power. Gavon's request for his mother to leave the room can be seen as his attempt to control both the interrogation process and his emotional comfort without the emotional anchor of his mother. Right now on my Patreon, you can watch one of the most disturbing scenes ever recorded on an interrogation room surveillance camera. It's a combination of desperation and carelessness that resulted in something incredibly shocking. This video is not suitable for sensitive viewers, as it is extremely unsettling. You won't find it on YouTube, but you can watch it and many more exclusive videos on patreon.com/strangerstoriesplus.
The carjacking, it was me, I'm gonna be honest about it, but the way that he explained it, that guy, that's not right. That grinder thing, yeah, I have been on it, and this guy was like the first time that this happened, and I told him, like, I was 17 and everything, and I wasn't planning on doing anything with him. It's not my style. I was just, like, he's a 40-year-old man trying to get with a 17-year-old, so I was just gonna rob him. It's still messed up, but against what he's doing, I don't really think it is. And then the whole carjacking thing, I never even left Overlook. I literally, like, I got in, and he's like, what, should we go to the back seat? I'm like, yeah, sure. So he got out, I sit and locked the doors, and hopped in the driver's seat and just drove around, messed with him, and then I left.
So then you got out and left?
Yeah, I didn't damage the car, I didn't.
Well, we knew it was there, you know, when he finally walked
Yeah.
somewhere to get a phone, and we knew there was something more to the story that he wasn't telling us.
Yeah, I didn't damage any of his stuff, I just, like,
Do you have his wallet?
no.
You could easily notice he is avoiding direct eye contact with the interrogators. For individuals who commit heinous crimes, making or avoiding eye contact carries different implications than it does for the average person. Their choice to avoid eye contact may not stem from guilt or shame, as one might expect. Instead, it could serve a practical purpose. Lying becomes easier without maintaining eye contact.
I didn't want to say that in front of my mom.
Are you gay?
No, that's not it. Like, I didn't have any plans to do anything sexual. It was just for him being that crappy of a person to try and get with a child, basically.
At what point in time did you tell him how old you were?
Over text is when I told him, and that's why I decided I was going to do that.
Is it text on your app?
Yeah.
Okay. And why were you on that app?
Really just for that reason, to find guys that are that low of people, I guess.
That want to get with kids?
Mm-hmm. Like, it's karma, really. Like, if you're going to do that, then I'm going to rob you.
And you told him how old?
I was 17.
You told him you were 17? And what was his response to that?
He was, like, okay, and he was down to meet. So that's when I decided I was just going to take his money and leave. Him getting the payback, I guess, I don't know, that's what, like, made me even get the app and do all that, not because of emotions or, like, feelings towards other men.
Is that all?
Yeah, that's all of it.
You didn't hurt that old lady, did you?
No, and that's what I was pissed about earlier.
What were you pissed about?
In the Gavon Ramsay case, women played a crucial and multifaceted role, not just as victims or bystanders, but as key figures in the investigation and subsequent resolution of the case. The gender dynamics at play in this scenario, Gavon's murder of Margaret, his request to speak with a female cop, and his mother's presence in the interrogation room shed light on significant psychological factors.
They're like, oh, you killed her, didn't you? I really feel like you did. I'm like, no, I didn't.
So people are saying that?
Yeah, and it's making me really mad. It really is. That's what my mom was saying too, is like, what she thinks two things it could be is like a grandson, nephew, like, because my brother's friend, his dad works for some county, and he was saying that like, her entire family was like in her will, and they were all getting like money and stuff. So he was saying like one of the grandkids or nephews, or I don't even know if it's in the family, but they could have done that to get money, or just some junkie in Wadsworth, which that would not surprise me.
Yeah.
Just going to break into a house to get some money or something they could pawn.
I'm sure your mom's getting out there freaking out.
Yeah, she probably thinks I'm confessing to murder. She's been in here so long.
How are you going to tell your mom? Do you want me to tell her? Do you want to tell her?
Often perpetrators feel more comfortable speaking to a female detective because they perceive them as less threatening or less likely to challenge their narrative aggressively. Gavon's manipulation of gendered expectations, whether it was through his interaction with his mother, the female detective, or ultimately the victim, Margaret, reveals how this 17-year-old boy leveraged gendered norms and roles to manipulate emotions and control narratives.
Well, we talked a little bit about the carjacking situation.
It's
not what you think.
no.
Okay. It's not a gun in the face and I'm going to steal your car. There's an app called Grindr that people use for hookups. And
I wasn't hooking up with the guy. I planned on robbing him because he was trying to meet up with a 17-year-old. Like, I didn't go on the site looking for, like, sex or anything. Like, I'm not gay. I went on there, honestly, like a catfish kind of thing.
I don't even know what that means.
that means he made a profile that said he's 18 or 19, and they start chatting on the app, and he says, I'm underage, I'm only 17, and the guy says, I don't care, let's meet up anyway and hook up.
I don't know.
So they
Like
met in the
Chris
parking
Hansen.
lot,
Yeah.
and he said, let's do this.
I closed the front passenger door and he closed his, and then I locked the doors and he was locked out, and I got in his car, or I got in the driver's seat and I cracked the window, and he was, you know, like kind of blah 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 outside my car. I'm like, no, you just tried to hook up with a child. Like, I'm still a minor. And then, like, I never even left Overlook parking lot with his car. I literally went up, turned around, and then, like, messed with him a little bit. Like, I would go up to him, and then I'd gas it a little bit, and then I turned around, and he came up to the door, and I'm like, where's your wallet? Where he's like, can I have my phone? I'm like, no, but where's your wallet? I was like, I'll give you your phone if you give me your wallet. So I was going to take his money. He said he didn't have it, and then, like, I looked away for a second. He, like, grabbed the window and tried to, like, break it, and then I took off and, like, parked up by the dumpsters, and he was gone. When I
Gavin, you mind going out with Officer Cooper and I can talk to your mom just for a minute?
Yeah.
Okay, I just,
Yeah.
I think you would chose.
It doesn't matter, we'll get it afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Do you have any concerns about him hurting himself?
I tell you what,
That's
no.
the feeling I got when he was getting really upset.
He recently, like, he's on and off for years, his new Douglas. Like, she's been good for him.
And she's fantastic.
Love her. Like, she has a connection with him. He would talk to him else.
You just want to have a seat, so you're penning up.
Thank you for coming in here. That's the reason I want to talk to you is a little bit about Gavin. I mean, obviously, prior to everything that's going on. Do you guys ever talk?
Yeah.
Do you? He ever tell you about anything he's doing or what's going on in his world, or?
Well, I mean, he did tell me, like, about, the carjacking.
He did tell you about that?
Yeah.
What did he tell you about that?
As the case developed, questions arose about whether Gavin's friends had any suspicions about his behavior leading up to the crime. Did they notice red flags? Was there any odd behavior? Or did Gavin keep his true intentions well hidden? That's where Haley Smith comes into the picture.
Would you think he could do something like that?
Yeah.
You do? Why is that?
I don't know, I'm not gonna lie to, like, cover his ass because he's screwed right now anyways. Last February, he told me that he has thoughts about murdering people and it doesn't bother him. And, he feels like he could kill someone in cold blood and not even care about it one bit. But then he told me that, he would never do that because he has more common sense and he doesn't want to sit in prison for the rest of his life.
What kind of person is he?
I honestly believe that he's a sociopath. He really does not care about anything. One bit. Like, he will have a feeling for some, like, a little bit of time, and then the next, like, hour he won't care about it. Because I remember he texted me one time that he wanted to get back with his ex-girlfriend, and, like, they were talking at this, like, little get-together, and he was just being, like, so mean to her, and then he was like, I just realized I don't care about anything. She just walked away crying, and that was, like, late at night, and then I texted him back in the morning, and I was like, go apologize to her, and tell her you're sorry. He was like, no, I don't care. So he has these feelings that he cares for stuff, and then the next he doesn't. And then, like, he started smoking weed, and he, like, stopped being so angry, and he was being nice.
Is he normally angry all the time?
And he just has his mood swings. They were crazy. Just that he never cared about anything, and he was angry all the time. But that, really, once he started smoking weed, he was like happy, and he was like a joyful person. He was actually, you could talk to him, and he wasn't like, I don't know. And I do remember there was one time he told me like, he wanted to like meet up with someone, like catfish them kind of,
Okay.
and just hurt them somehow.
How long ago was that?
2 months.
Haley's involvement in the case brings an interesting layer to the story. She was a close friend of Gavon, which placed her in a complicated position when the crimes were uncovered. Her role in the narrative isn't one of direct involvement, but more of an observer, perhaps initially unaware of the darker aspects of Gavon's personality.
Okay. So, you know, I mean, obviously you're here, of your own free will.
Yeah,
You're not in a rush, not being charged or anything like that, and you want to talk to us, is that correct?
absolutely.
What do you want to talk to me about?
The Douglas murder, I forget her last name, I'm sorry. It hasn't, not that I've seen, the name hasn't been released on who the suspect in custody is, but I'm pretty sure who it is. My best friend, Gavon Ramsay.
Why do you think that?
We got in trouble, the other day, and it just matched, I guess, what we were doing and then what the suspect also did in the past, and it's hard to, I guess, say exactly, but it's pretty obvious it's him.
Why?
Things that we did in the past,
Meaning, what?
I guess I keep saying things in the past. A couple days ago, I talked to Detective Shimenos, or...
Okay, I understand you guys tried to break into a church and break into a trailer a couple days ago. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and then...
you broke into some cars before?
No.
Okay, go on.
I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Oh, yes, and it said that the suspect was involved with that too, which is how I can kind of correlate the two together. And then from things of like talking in person with him, he's brought it up before.
What do you mean you brought it up before?
I took it as a joke before, which I see that was not the way to handle that. He told me that he did it.
You gotta explain.
I know, I'm sorry.
Right now, I know you're nervous.
Yeah.
But right now, you're telling me stuff that don't make any sense.
I know, I'm sorry.
So, how about this? Just relax. What did he tell you he did?
I can't say when for sure. I don't remember. We were talking in person. It's not written out in text messages or anything. He brought it up that a lady was killed like 5 houses down from where he lived and how crazy it was. And, you know, we're talking about that. And what I took it as a joke said that he actually did it.
In any crime case, the role of an accomplice, or someone who has the opportunity to intervene but doesn't, can be incredibly complex. Braden's actions or lack thereof before and after the crime could speak volumes about his awareness. Did he choose not to question Gavon's behavior, or was he so blinded by their friendship that he couldn't see the signs?
He brought it up that happened. I saw it on a Snapchat story. It was a picture of the cops in front of the house investigating for the initial response or whatever. He said, someone got killed 5 houses down. This is crazy. Like, that is crazy. And then he told me that he had several people ask him if he's the one who did it. And, you know, haha, LOL. I had like 7 people ask me if I did it. I'm like, yeah, that's funny. He's like, well, I kind of did it. And I believe this is actually in my phone. I don't remember if it was Snapchat or text, so if it could be looked at, I'm not sure of. But yeah, I believe he said the words exactly, I did that, and it was one of those, like, you play it off as saying it was a joke, just to kind of see how, I guess, people would react to it. And I reacted I still thought it was a joke, but I still showed that, you know, that's not cool, that's not okay, it's not me, I guess.
The contrasting behaviors of Braden and Gavon in the interrogation room, Braden sitting comfortably while Gavon lies on the floor crying, reveal a lot about their psychological states, guilt, and the roles they played in the crime.
He's brought it up in the past, that he's wanted to kill somebody.
You've been instituted conversation?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't believe that's on text at all. He has, I guess, real bad psychological problems. It's very obvious. And I've tried to help him several times. I mean, I still was. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
We are very humorous people. Would you rather be sad or laugh all day? We would choose laughing. So we're always joking around. So he would bring that up, you know, we'd throw a couple jokes, and that's that. And then we would get into serious, deep conversations about, I guess, you know, how he's feeling inside, if he's happy or not. And he would tell me that he just feels empty. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, man.
I didn't know he could do that.
Gavin, can I get your water or something, man? No. I'll be right back in, okay?
It was time to interrogate the mastermind himself. The second interview occurred after significant evidence had been collected, including videos found on his phone. This context likely influenced his willingness to confess more openly, as he realized that investigators had substantial proof against him.
You sure I can't get you a drink? I know telling me about it doesn't give you much relief.
Just change the fact that it ruined my life.
Gavin, what happened to Margaret's underwear?
Hurt.
All right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, there was a bit of an altercation. Like, she wasn't up whenever she was going to the phone.
Okay. So did you kind of wrestle with her then?
A little bit. Like, just off the couch.
On the floor? And her underwear got torn then?
Yeah, you're kind of ripped.
So when she died, was she on the couch or on the floor?
Floor.
Were you on top of her then?
kind of.
Like straddling her?
Yeah.
And did you use one hand or both?
Both.
And did you squeeze it or push her against the floor or both?
Both.
And you said you don't remember if she was bleeding at that point?
Well, I mean, the only reason I can think of bleeding is when I put my hand over her mouth.
So when you were holding her hand over her mouth, you might have pushed too hard and maybe made her nose bleed?
Yeah.
So, were you in her house for a little while before you woke her up?
I mean, I came up onto the porch, and I didn't even know what I was gonna do. And I looked in the window and everything. I don't know, I felt like going into a house is like the biggest adrenaline rush I could get, I guess. So then I tried the doorknob, and that just happened to be unlocked.
Was it the front door or back door?
Or back door.
The male detective's tactic of mirroring Gavon's body language and speech patterns is a well-known psychological strategy. Mirroring helps to build rapport and makes the suspect feel that the investigator is on the same wavelength.
I opened the door, and I just listened. And then I didn't hear anything, so maybe nobody saw him. And then I go to walk around that corner, like I'm still going slow, but I see her, and she's, I don't know, like sleeping or something. And then I go to turn around and hit the chair, and it made a noise, and she woke up.
And she started to scream at that point, you said?
Yeah, because, like, when I hit the chair, I, like, turned back around, and I looked, and she was there staring at me and started to yell. And then went for the phone. She already knew what I looked like.
He has become more open about his actions, providing specific details regarding the murder. This change indicates a recognition of the evidence against him and perhaps a desire to mitigate his culpability by expressing regret.
Now, there's a couple of videos of you kind of peeking over the edge of the couch and videotaping her. When was that all done?
That was on the same night. Why did I lie about anything? That was stupid.
It's okay. I mean, you went in the house earlier?
No, like, I never went to the house before, but, like, I went in, and I was being quiet and everything. And, like, how it happened, like, I wasn't lying about that, but I did, you know, like, I turned the corner, I did see her.
And you hid?
Yeah, then I hid, and I, like, you know, was taking my phone. I was taking pictures to see if she was awake.
I got you.
And then
Throughout the interrogation, the detectives subtly presented contradictions in Gavon's statements. They allowed him to tell his side of the story first, but as he gave different versions of events, they subtly pointed out the discrepancies, which induced cognitive dissonance in him. This made Gavon question his own narrative, further increasing his discomfort and possibly leading him closer to revealing the truth.
How long did you stay there before you put her in the closet?
that was probably, like, 30 minutes. I just kind of sat there, and I didn't know, like, what was going on. Like, I was so in shock from it, I guess. It was, like, adrenaline and shock at the same time. So, like, 1 second, I'm like, I don't know, adrenaline.
You know, and the next thing you know, it's
It's like
an overload.
I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
So what did you do with your gloves when you left?
I threw those away
Where at?
in the trash can.
The cops found 14 images of an elderly female corpse in Gavon's phone. The images included 2 images of the Margaret's face and showed fresh injuries around her open mouth. There were 8 images of her breasts. There were 4 images of her genital area.
What was the purple stuff that was on there? I get it, that there's a whole piece of this that you don't understand why you do, okay? I understand the whole piece that you don't understand. And I get that. Did the purple stuff have to do with the whole piece that you don't understand why you do? No.
No, the purple stuff was that jelly. I don't even know where that came into play at.
Did you maybe use it like kind of as a lubricant for something?
Is it a part you don't understand, or is it a part just embarrassing? In your own mind, you know what I mean, in your own mind? Because it's okay.
None of this is okay.
Well, it's not okay, I'm saying we understand that it's an embarrassing part, since you're not sure, we understand that part. You know what I mean, it's okay that we understand it that way.
You put the jelly on the glove. Is that when you used her hand to rub your penis?
Yeah.
The main question here is, why would a young boy decide to do something so evil? The first reason could be the desire for control and power. Next, we have sexual deviancy. Third, as he already highlighted at some point, he wants to feel some thrill. And all these reasons connect to one bigger issue: psychological problems. Prior to the murder, Gavon exhibited signs of severe psychological distress. Reports indicated that he had intrusive thoughts of violence and had been diagnosed with conduct disorder, characterized by a pattern of violating societal norms and the rights of others. His mental health history also included substance abuse, which may have exacerbated his violent tendencies.
Yeah. I think that's why I broke into the cars and stuff, because there's that risk factor, and all I've ever done is take risk, because that's the only thing that makes me.
That's your drug, adrenaline?
Yeah, like, I don't know, nothing feels real to me. When I have adrenaline, it's like, alright.
You feel alive,
Not,
like there's meaning to you, right?
I don't know about meaning, but
you understand, like you feel like
yeah,
something.
it feels different. It's like, I don't know how to explain that.
Any bad stuff inside you goes away.
I guess.
So your whole intention of going in the house was just the adrenaline of being in somebody's house.
Yeah, I didn't even want to rob the house.
It was just the sneaky thrill of, can I get in somebody's house and get out and get away with it?
Yeah, but if the door was locked, I would have just walked away. I would have been like, I'm not gonna try and go open a window or climb on the roof and go in. I would have just left, just like a car. If a car is locked.
Gavon's statements are highly revealing and speak to a dangerous mindset. These comments indicate a sense of entitlement and a complete lack of remorse or empathy for the victim. He is rationalizing his actions, shifting the blame onto the victim by implying that she somehow invited the crime by leaving the door unlocked. His emotional shifts appear calculated at times, which means this 17-year-old boy is doing the best he can to influence the investigator's perceptions of him. He's leaving no stone unturned, from playing the sympathy card to victim blaming, or a rather sad attempt to rationalize his behavior.
Are you worried about what your family would think?
I know I talked to you a little bit about what was on the phone.
So I don't know anything that
All the phone contained images of Margaret before and after her death, as well as videos of your son with her.
having sex with her.
Engaging in sexual acts with her.
You need to sit down.
Was she still alive when he was doing that? No, I don't believe so. Oh, my God.
This isn't happening. This isn't real.
It sounds like he's probably been leaving the house as frequently as he can. And just going through people's vehicles and, you know, trying to break into different places. And it just escalated to the point where he thought, I'm going to try the door. And that's how we ended up where we're at.
How did she die? Did he do?
I can't discuss those details.
Did he do? I'm asking.
There's nothing that's been formalized.
Okay.
Anything we say would be speculation.
Right.
We don't have an autopsy.
Okay.
We do know that it was by a physical force.
Okay.
We do know it was an exterior force. I guess that's the best way to describe it.
So what's going to happen now?
Well, at the present time, he's being transported to the juvenile detention facility, and he'll be held there. Oh my God! Oh my God! The nature of the charges are such that it's what's called a compulsory bindover.
Okay, I don't even know what that means.
It means there's two types of bindovers. When a juvenile, somebody who's 17 years old, there's a discretionary bindover. There's certain types of cases where there's an evaluation made as to whether or not he should be tried as an adult. And then there's a compulsory bindover. In a compulsory bindover, it's almost automatic. He will be tried as an adult.
Both my parents are, my daddy, we just buried him on the 21st.
I lost my daddy a year ago in March, so.
I thought that you were gonna just.
I wish I could.
Because then there was just, there was comments on his phone, or,
Doesn't matter. I just want to say, was Braden involved in any of this?
Not that we're aware of at this point.
Okay.
Because I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you right now, you keep your eye on that Braden, because he is coerced and taken a hold on our son for the past 4 or 5 years, and all the shit that has happened. My son is not like this. We're a good family.
This isn't a review.
I know that, but I've raised. When this happened, we were just thinking that woman was 98 years old.
Or 92, I think. 92.
No, she was 98.
98 years old. Just living out her days. And here's my son. My son did this. And I'm motherfucking all these people out here. And it's my son.
If anybody can get you through this and get you what you need to fix whatever's going on with you, it's your mom.
But that's the thing, I don't know if this can be fixed, because it doesn't feel like it's some regular emotion. This feels like it's natural, and I don't want it to be. Anything
can be fixed, yeah.
Gavon has exhibited a noticeable shift towards being more emotionally expressive. He's showing signs of remorse and vulnerability, which contrasts sharply with his earlier demeanor. Gavon's dramatic display of emotion might be a manipulation tactic. Many criminals, particularly those with narcissistic or psychopathic traits, use emotional outbursts to elicit sympathy or to try and confuse investigators.
Are you sorry this happened?
Yeah, I'm really sorry that I did all of this.
Were you sorry about all of this before you got caught?
Yeah, like I constantly, like, I think about it a lot, and I feel like bad about what I did. Like I don't, like, I feel bad, I know it's wrong, but I can't express the emotion. So it seems like what I'm saying is a lot. Like, if I say, like, something about my mom, you know, I cry or whatever, it's like, okay, he's being honest. But if I say, like, I'm sorry for what I did, like, with Margaret, and I don't have any emotion to it, it sounds like I'm lying and I don't really care. But that's not it.
You can't make me believe that my decision wasn't the ultimate cause of all of this. To simply say I'm sorry to a victim's family, that's not enough. You can't undo their heartache. You can't undo our heartache.
Gavon was sentenced on charges of murder, aggravated murder, kidnapping, gross of a corpse, and aggravated burglary. In January 2019, he received a sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. Thank you for watching. If you like this type of content and want to support the channel, there is a Patreon link in the description below. You'll be able to watch videos with 0 ads and some that are too controversial for YouTube, and you'll be supporting the channel at the same time. Thanks again for sticking around, and I'll see you in the next video.